Well, it is finally here. The Analogue Duo, the FPGA modern version of the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine. Without further ado, let's take a look. All right, folks, here it is, the Analogue Duo in all its glory. These started shipping just on the 11th. And here it is in the typical analog packaging with that matte dark gray. And I selected the US version to mirror the kind of look and feel of the US TurboGrafx 16 or Turbo Duo with that black color. There's where your HuCards go into, the eject button, power button, and of course our CD drive. On the back here, we have our inputs, 2 USB ports for hardwired controller, HDMI port, and an SD card slot, followed up by our USB-C for power. And there is the analog grip on the back. We'll set that aside and look at what else here is in the box. And straight away, we have our USB-C power adapter. Not enough companies still include this device. Atari 2600 did not. So grateful that Analogue still includes those, as this is a premium product. And then, of course, we have our USB-C cord. This will go to supply power, of course. And here is our HDMI cable. Nothing too special about that. And in here we have looks like a couple stickers and a QR code for a get started guide. As you'll notice, this system, like most analog systems, does not come with a controller. They recommend the 8-bit DOE TurboGrafx 16 controller, so I do have one of those here. So let's take a look at it. Just put this away. Here it is. Of course, I got the black one to match the black system. And this is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller. It does come with a USB power cord and charging cord. It also has a dongle. If you were to connect this up, say, to a computer or another system, you do not need this wireless dongle for the Analogue Duos. The Analogue Duo does have built-in support for this controller to connect wirelessly. In fact, you can connect up to 4 of these wirelessly. You can also use an original TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine controller and plug it in there on the side. So there you have it. So there's the kit. So enough of the kit. Let's take a look at the system itself. And so as you can see right here is the main menu. Those of you that have the Analog Pocket will recognize this familiar menu. It is kind of frustrating. This is clearly a menu designed for that small screen on the Pocket. So unlike, say, the Analog SG or the Super NT, which have a user interface that gives you a lot more control, this is way dumbed down. You can see we can go here into the settings, and this is where we can mess with the Analogue OS. We can customize our video outputs, currently at 1080p at 60 hertz. We can limit the RGB range. Of course, we have our audio. We can reset everything. You know, in the game, you can set different filters. If you're wanting a CRT filter, or if you want to go with the Turbo Express, the portable view, you can do that. But enough, let's take a look at some games. So first up, I'll just put that game in there. We'll play the game that came with the original TurboGrafx 16 hit here in the US, and that is Keith Courage. We'll just fire that up. Now, if you have an SD card, the nice thing about this is you can save screenshots, you can do save games, and it will load in your library images of each game you own and collect statistics. Now, I do not have an SD card inserted at this time, but you can do that. So here we are, pretty responsive controls. Don't notice any lag on my end. As you can see, I'm not very good at this game. I was never, when I had this originally, I was not great at this game then either. Nice thing about the 8-bit DOE controller is it does include both standard buttons and turbo buttons, though I've heard the turbo buttons aren't maybe as good as some of the other original controllers' turbo buttons, but for this game they seem to be working fine. Oops. And there you go. This is why I'm terrible at this game. It is one of these games that's unforgiving, right? It's you die once and you're out. Now, of course, you do have health that you can get and build up, and of course you can continue, but original system didn't really allow you to save, so it was one of these ones that you kind of had to just go for it. Now, a lot of TurboGrafx 16 and PC Engine games are heavy on passwords, so it'll be nice with save states not to have to write down all those passwords. But for right now, we're just kind of playing around here, checking things out. Sound seems good. Like I said, maybe there's a little latency, but not much. I'm just messing around here. And now comes the more interesting aspects of this game when you turn into this guy. And I am getting murdered hard here. Always with those guys. You can see the reactions on here are not the controller or the game, it's me reacting slowly. You know. Oh, would be nice if I actually hit the jump button there. Kind of unnatural for me the way these the controls are laid out here. that. I don't know why sometimes when I jump I can nail that guy perfectly and other times not so much. Obviously, I'm no expert at this game, so I honestly have no idea what that little number 2 does. Getting up here to the level boss. I don't know, was I supposed to keep that as a number 3? If you know this game, let me know in the comments. Looks like somehow I got an extra heart in there. There we go. Off to level 2, finally. Oh. That was fun. Well, so there's that game. So let's take a look at another one here. And exit, we'll just hit down and select. Theoretically, there we go. This 8-bit DOE controller I've had for a while, waiting on the shipping on this, so it is not charged, so I'm having it wired in, and it's kind of acting a little strange on the wire. So, next up, let's take a look at Bonk's Adventure. We just did Keith's Courage, so we're doing Bonk's Adventure this time. So this is another HuCard game, or HuCard, whatever you want to call them. I know we called them HU back in the DirecTV days. And it recognized the game right away. And this is a new one that I got KC Retro. If you missed that video on my pickups, be sure to check that out. Oh, I'm gonna cause myself to have a concussion or brain damage here because apparently I can't not aim very well. Apparently, meat causes heartburn. There we go. Level 1 in the bag. This has always been a interesting game that I wanted to own. I never actually owned this one, and when I saw it this weekend, of course, I had to pick it up. There we go. So that pretty interesting little platformer, I guess. Of course, many of us have seen this game and or played it. I do have a version on the Famicom that I'm interested in trying out at some point. I do have so many of those games; it's hard to get a chance to play all of them. Ah. Oop. Come on. Well, I barely made it through that level. Now we're in 1-3. And dead. Am I gonna wake up here, or what's the deal? Guess you have to hit run. Wish this would stop a little easier. Yeah. Gets that momentum going and you can't stop. Well, that's the end of me, and that is the end of Bonk's adventure. All right, next up, let's take a look at a PC Engine game. This is a franchise I really enjoy on the Sega Genesis. And that is Wonder Boy in Monsterland. So We have our disc, of course, our game. I know it's hard to see there. This is my first test of the CD drive, a first for Analog. None of their other systems have disk drives, so it'll be interesting to see. And it looks like it read the CD, so there we go. Actually got this game from Riff, Pixel Game Squad. If you guys don't watch their channel, check that out. It's a ton of fun. They also have a great podcast over on Pixel Plus that is just a lot of fun to watch. I highly recommend. And there we go. We'll just bypass all this because, like you, I have no idea what it's saying. Pretty solid music. I mean, I'll tell you, the audio sounds great coming out of this game on my speakers here. Let's just pick this first one and this one. I have no idea what it said. This is a game that's probably not going to play too well because it does take some reading. Again, the audio on here sounds superb. Like, I'm impressed. Okay, I'm sure he's saying something about you're the best. You know, I know you can do it. Congratulations. You've got this game beat. You just started. I'm sure that's what he said. See if we can spend some of this hard-earned cash. What do you think? Can I afford this? I cannot. I think that's 30 something. Poke the snake in the eye. Hey, we were supposed to die. Give me that note. We are on to the next step. This is very familiar. If you've played the Genesis game, this is pretty identical. Graphics, I think, are a lot. The colors just really pop. I think the colors look way better on this than the Sega version. Great color palette, loud music. Hey, we have enough for the shoes. I do know we need those, but I am not going to go back and get those at this point. Oh, I died. So there you have it. Of course, I hit the wrong button. So there you go. That's a quick look at 3 games for the analog. There are 2 TurboGrafx 16, 1 PC Engine game for the Analogue Duo. I think this is great. I love to have the system in my collection. Like I said, I had, I've mentioned it on other videos. I had a TurboGrafx 16. I only had 2 games. I had Keith Courage and Splatterhouse, and I have to say, Splatterhouse got all my attention on this game. Or on this system. I really love that game. Very difficult, but a lot of fun. Really tapped into that horror vibe. I couldn't be happier. I think the Analogue Duo is exactly what I expected. It runs great. It's a great way to play these retro games on a modern system that isn't emulation. It lets you play the original games just like the other analog systems that I have all of them in my collection, except for the Noir. I missed out on that one. Really wish I got a hold of that. Now it's like way, way expensive. But I do have a Pocket, I have the SG, and I have the Super NT, like I mentioned earlier. Can't wait for the Analog 3D, which is the Nintendo 64 version. So, like I said, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching this video. Um, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. You know what to do. Leave a like in the comment, or leave a comment if you liked anything you seen here today. Uh, what say you? Are you going to get an Analog Duo? Do you have any interest in this system at all? If you have one, how are you liking it? What's your favorite TurboGrafx 16 game? And I will catch you on the next one.